Good morning. I am joined by the beautiful Millie now. Yes, my pretty girl. Okay, so quick update on my 40 bags in 40 days challenge. This weekend, I went over to my sister's house to surprise my brother-in-law with installing his hot water heater, so he didn't have to. Um, and in so doing that, I'm also helping them clear out a section of their dining room because we believe their base water heater pipe cracked because one day her son's like, "Mommy, the dining room's soaked." And she's like, "What?" So, yeah, the whole carpet is soaked. Not the entire thing, but like a good 6 feet from the wall. So, we're thinking the pipe cracked and it just spewed out water until there's no water left um, in that section of the system. So, in the effort to do that, I counted her house, whatever garbage I managed to collect and pick up. And most of it's actually recycling because she was keeping a lot of the big boxes to put on the ground to spray paint things for the Nutcracker. So we used the crafting and everything. And of course, with my mother passing away and things, and my sister's neighborhood doesn't have town garbage pickup like we do. She basically brings her garbage over to our house to get picked up because she really doesn't have a lot. But with all this recycling, it's a little different story. And the garbage dump and recycling center that used to be over by her house was closed down by the county. And so there's like only one other place, and that's like a half hour away. It's a pain in the butt. But anyways, but we gathered it all together and managed to put it in one section of her basement so that way we can come over with my brother-in-law's trailer, load it up, take it over to the recycling center, be done with it. And that is going to be so much volume because it's packing materials from like the hot water heater and other things that she's had to buy within the last few months that were like bigger things that have a lot of packaging. So and not having garbage pickup makes this very, very difficult to just get rid of. So it's like for her, unfortunately, it has to be a very conscientious effort. All right, I need to gather my recycling, I need to gather my garbage, I need to take it to a location, I need to get rid of it. And she ain't got time for that. She's a nurse in a doctor's office, and her husband's a union electrician. So they ain't got time for that. And then the kids got their activities and everything else. So it's like, oh my Lord. And we've been relying on them a lot while my mother was sick, especially my sister, because she was my mother's healthcare proxy. So it's just like, I feel like her life got put to the wayside worse than my life. So this is where Lent is a time where she's working on making deliberate choices and making deliberate effort on getting things done. But she definitely needs help. So that's what I'm there for. She's there to help me. We're relying on each other. That's what sisters are for. So I'm counting her recycling as one of my bags. We just got to get it out of her house at this point. But I have another bag. So I think I'm up to 4, 5, 6 bags. And it's not really a bag. It's 3 printers. 3. So my original HP printer, Office Jet, crapped out. And I was also very upset with HP because this printer used to be able to do dual scanning. I popped the pages in. I could do a packet 60 pages long. It would scan in all the pages. I just flip it over. It'd scan in the other side, and it would automatically fit those pages in between the previous pages, right? And HP decided to be sneaky little bastards and took that feature out of their software when it got updated. So a printer that used to have this capability now can't because they took it out of their software. Why? Because they realized, oh, we can charge more for a scanner that does dual printing. It actually has nothing to do with the hardware, the actual capabilities of the printer scanner. It has everything to do with how their software is read. So it's very easy for them to take these features in and out. There's no reason why they should have taken it out. In fact, they can probably add it in because all it does is any printer with an ADF, an automatic document feeder, can do dual scanning because it's about the software just plugging the second page in between the first page. That's all it takes. That's a quick code. That's not, can the printer do this? Yeah, it can. Anyways, so that was my upset with that. So I got another printer scanner from Facebook Marketplace, and I don't fault this lady. But I got an old printer for $40. It came with all the inks and everything, and I asked her, does it have everything it has to run? She's like, yeah. I get it, and it's missing the magenta ink cartridge, so it's not even going to print without that cartridge in there. So I got to buy ink. All right, no big deal. So I tried to contact her and ask her, when was the last time you actually printed from this printer? Because if it's been more than 6 months, all the ink is dried up in the tubes, and then I have to get it serviced, and then that's going to cost more than just me buying a new printer. So she never responded back to me. So I'm like, screw it. I'm out $70 for ink and whatever. So I started shopping online with it for HP printers because I did like the HP brand. Guess what? I don't anymore because to get a printer to do all the things that I want, the printer price wasn't bad. It was like 200 something dollars, give or take, right? 200 average. Um, so I was like, before I invest in a printer and just buy whatever printer I want, especially since they pulled this sneaky shit with their software, let me see if it's worth it via ink. So I looked up the ink cartridges. First off, HP has done everything in their power to make sure you can only use their ink cartridges or certified refurbished ink cartridge software chips. So you can't buy, bootleg cartridges. Um, and so instead of spending only like $20 on black ink, I would have to spend $230 for a full set of inks. That's more than what the printer is worth. They're making money on ink, and they're making it so you cannot get ink anywhere but through them. And then they try to sell you on a monthly subscription to lower the price of the thing. I'm like, no, screw that. So the other printer I had is a Canon, which is great for printing photos, but it's got an encoding disc problem, which is not something I can replace because I can't find encoding discs for this printer anywhere. So I'm like, well, that's up shit's creek, but at least I can sort of read what I'm printing for that. So I use that in the meantime. And so I found a printer where the ink price wasn't too bad compared to the price of the printer. The printer was still only like about $200. Got it on Amazon on a payment plan, and it's a Brother printer, like an OfficeJet printer. And Brother is a decent brand. It's a pretty reliable printer. My experience with Brother printers was strictly document printing, like black and white documents, legal documents. And it printed very well. It used toner, blah, blah, blah. This printer is a colored printer, but it does a tank system. So it sucks the ink out of the ink cartridges and puts it in a reservoir and then prints. And it prints really well. The one downside is I think the dual printing ability is not via the ADF. It's only on the flatbed. So that kind of annoys me. There's no reason for that. That, like I said, that's a coding thing. That's not a capability of the mechanical part of the printer thing. But because what I print double-sided is usually straight from my computer, that's not an issue. I hardly ever make photocopies double-sided. My concern now is when I want to start scanning all my documents so I can shred it all and keep all my files to a 2-drawer filing cabinet instead of like boxes everywhere. Oh my God. I want to be able to do dual-sided scanning through the automated document fitter. If I can't do that, I'm going to go through and just scan everything and number the pages by hand if they don't already have numbers on it, and then just scan it straight in so that way I don't have to worry about it. At least I'll have all the pages in a document. So I just can't print two-sided when I do that. If I ever have to print them back again. 9 times out of 10, I don't have to. But yeah, so that's my rant today. Screw HP. I switched brands. I switched to Brother. And yeah, so I have 2 more buckets. Bye. Yeah, that's the one I got from Facebook. That's one I've had for a while. They're both shot. And the other one's out there in the trash already.